Boston Viscara. Ricer.
Wait, do I put these? Yeah.
And Gilbert Hernandez.
Yeah.
S. Moore.
Who has S
222.
more? Oh.
222.
I first yearbook because I like the memories and to look through it when I'm older.
What do you think that the theme is meant to be for this year?
I don't know. It looks like a boat, so maybe like a sea theme.
Alright, are you excited for the signing party and opening your yearbook?
Yes, I'm really excited, and I hope to get everyone to sign it.
Are you excited for the signing party?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it.
Okay. And what do you think about the yearbook this year?
I think that it's a lot bigger than last year. The cover's definitely different.
What was the hardest thing about making this year's yearbook?
Probably the hardest thing about making this yearbook this year is probably the cover, because it took a lot of thought process and just making sure that we already have an idea that we might already used last year and stuff.
And what was your favorite page or section in the yearbook?
I think it'd probably be all the pep rallies, because I have a lot of fun during those, and it's just really cool to look back on the memories.
What was your favorite page or section in the yearbook?
The soccer photos.
And what was the first thing you looked at in the yearbook?
My yearbook photo.
Okay, thank you.
Yo, guys.
How do you feel about this year's yearbook?
I liked it. It was a good theme. I liked it.
Okay. And how did you feel when you first saw your picture?
When I saw my picture, it was a while ago, so I looked a little different, but I didn't think too much of it.
How do you feel about this year's yearbook?
It was good. I liked it.
And how did you feel when you first saw your picture?
I didn't smile in it, so I was like, why didn't I smile?
How did you feel when you first saw your picture?
I thought it was cute. I liked it.
And what was the first thing you looked at in the yearbook?
Was the front page. Had Amelia playing around it.
How do you feel about this year's yearbook?
I feel great. I feel like it was better than last year's yearbook, because last year's yearbook was kind of all over the place.
and this year's yearbook is kind of like together.
Okay. And what was the hardest thing about making this year's yearbook?
It's probably for me the due dates. I can't really do due dates.
How do you feel about this year's yearbook?
I feel like the cover is nice, and this yearbook, it feels a little bit sad because it's my last middle school yearbook until high school, but I really feel happy about this yearbook.
And what is your favorite page or section in the
My
yearbook?
favorite page is the baby pictures.
How do you feel about this year's yearbook?
I think it's absolutely amazing. I love the design and I love the theme of it.
And how did you first feel when you saw your picture?
I was like, I thought it was super bad, but then I remembered my picture from last year, and it's definitely way better than last year's photo.
What was the first thing you looked at in the yearbook?
The first thing that I looked at in the yearbook was I was looking for pictures of me, and it was the soccer days.
And what was your favorite page or section in the yearbook?
My favorite page in the yearbook was the superlatives because I was on it and I got voted for most outstanding writer of the day.
How do you feel about this year's yearbook?
I feel that this year's yearbook is the best one out of all of them, and that I was in it a lot more than last year.
And how did you feel when you first saw your picture?
I wasn't the biggest fan of my picture, but the picture came out and it was good quality, so.
How do you feel about this year's yearbook?
It was pretty good. When I looked into it, I saw amazing stuff.